Saleb Dostar. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Singer Dad Reacts. My name is Josh. So good to be back with all of my dears and to be doing another reaction to Dimash and continuing on his journey. I left off with his screaming performance, and I apologize. It's been several months since I did a Dimash reaction. I've been slowing down quite a bit on my reactions over the last several months, and so I do want to try to get that going again and start up and do more reactions overall, which of course will include more Dimash. Before filming this reaction, one of the things that I did that I like to do is I went back and I watched an interview with Dimash from right around the same time frame back in around mid 2019, and it was on the Kazakhstan TV channel. And I guess he hadn't been on any of the local broadcast channels for several years. 3 years, I think, is what the host said. And so this was a big deal. And it was really just super impressive to me to watch him and to see, even at this time when he was just a huge, phenom around the world already at this point, he was just humble and really well-grounded and still talked a lot about his family and the people that had helped him along the way, Marat and some of the others, and his gratitude for them, and he thanked Allah, of God, of course, and it was just really touching to see how much he understands that his gift is given to him to bring happiness and to unite the people of Kazakhstan and to introduce the world to his wonderful country and inspire them. And he said something touching where he was like, "I never want to hear about my people having any grief," and what a tender-hearted person he is to have that much love for his people, to not want any of them to have any grief. Instead of kind of looking at himself and it's all about me and my career and look how awesome I am, he's instead really concerned about his people. And he said something in there that actually ties in with my philosophy and part of the reason that I started my channel. He said, "I think music is a great power without language." And he also said, "We must talk to each other with a smile." So these are, of course, the translations, the English translations from the interview. But that really is the premise of my channel, right? It's about bringing music to the world, and that music can be a light to the world in a very universal way. It speaks to all of our hearts the same way, regardless of where we come from and what language we speak, what our cultures are, our backgrounds, any of those things. So props to him. So I'm going to move forward here as I do with my reactions and read through the lyrics. If you are someone that is not interested in this part of my reaction, then please skip forward to the reaction. I do put chapters in the YouTube videos, so you can just skip ahead to that part of my reaction. This is, of course, Olympico, Ogni Pietra, which is translated every stone. The music was written by Igor Krutoy, lyrics by Lilia Vinogradova, and the English translation that I got. And per your feedback, and many of you have said this, I got this translation from lyrictranslate.com, so hopefully it's accurate. It says, "Every stone and every flower, our earth was created for love. We are its children, poets and heroes. The life is born and goes and will be forever. You are strong, be brave. You are strong, you are more powerful than your problems, as fast as a noble heart. Catch up with it, embrace it." And there's a chorus. It says, "The young future. Go, do not stop in the middle of your path. Brotherhood and liberty. This world really needs you. Go, be yourself and be ourselves. You can have everything if you want it. Always forward, ever forward, as long as you can, you can. The world turns, although sometimes it makes you cry. Only the love is the answer to the question why. Your mind is your spirit, I will stay with you. And this is the chorus again. You are strong, be brave, you are strong. You are more powerful than your problems. As fast as a noble heart, catch up with it, embrace it. Let's see. So there's another line of the chorus. And then the chorus again. Always forward, ever forward, as long as you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Do not stop in the middle of your path. The brotherhood and liberty, this world really needs you. So this seems to really tie in with what he said in the interview, right? It's all about, and he talks about his dreams, and I'll put the link to the interview in my description so you guys can go watch it if you haven't already. The interviewer holds up a picture that he had drawn when he was like 3 or 4 years old and had all these different things on there, instruments and music amplifiers and the dombra and all these different things. And it was all the things that he kind of dreamed of. And it had, I think, a picture of him on the stage. But these were all the things he dreamed of at an early age. And then he set it in motion. Within a year or two later of that is when he started really diving in and getting lessons and everything else. So he's giving us all the same challenge through the lyrics of the song. He's saying, follow your dreams. You are strong. You are more powerful than your problems. So again, it's all about that, not wanting people to have that grief, giving them encouragement that they can overcome these things, right? Do not stop. The world really needs you. So it's this call for us to rise up and be our best selves, right? And that's awesome. Very inspiring. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I've heard from a lot of you early on that this is one of the songs that really shows off his operatic, kind of lower register. So I'm excited to see it, because if you're new to my channel, I'm a classically trained vocalist, and as you can probably tell from my speaking voice, I have a lower voice. So I'm considered a baritone. I can sing from low bass to kind of to the tenor range. So when I can hear someone that has that classical background and really can do well in the lower register, I really enjoy it. So let's get right to it. Also, if you're new to my channel, if you could please click on the subscribe, click on the notification so it'll let you know when I post new reactions. And like I said, those notifications should be coming more often now going forward. So I have a goal. One of the things that I'm going to do to try to rise up is to spend more time posting reactions to all of you and interacting with all of you in my community around the world, because I miss that. It's part of my life that gives me fulfillment, and I enjoy getting to know you and about your cultures, and I really appreciate all of your support. So again, let's jump right in here. Look at that set, that's amazing. Oh, wow. Look at this production. This is amazing. Yeah, his voice. And I knew this doesn't surprise me, because I've heard little bits of this in some of the different performances, like Sinful Passion was one where he sang the first part of that in kind of the same part of his register and had similar richness and kind of that classical roundness to the sound and power behind it. But this is even more so kind of that just rich flowing sound. You can see like when he's forming the vowels and everything that he's really opening up the chamber, and he really understands. In that interview I mentioned before, he talks a little bit about the mask and how the sound travels up through and out, and then you feel it kind of come through your forehead almost. And those are kind of terms that you learn when you go through the classical training, where they kind of they try to help you establish that, where you're bringing the sound up through, and it has a natural pathway up through and out through your larynx and through this mask he talked about there, right? So he definitely understands that, and you can hear that he knows how to really apply that classical filter to the sound and bring that power. And look at this choir here. It's like, and this is something also, like, it makes me think of the video of Luciano Pavarotti when he sings Nessun Dorma, and he's got a big choir behind him. And nobody's worried about him being heard because his voice carries such power. And so you have a similar thing here with Dimash, with his ability to sing in the classical style. So let me rewind a little bit, make sure I don't miss anything. Look at all these vocalists. That's a cool costume too. See how open it is? Do not stop halfway. He looks so imposing up there. Wow. Oh, wow. Sorry to interrupt in the middle of that, but he can do anything with his voice. He really can. I've talked about it before, but it just kind of hit me all over again listening to this, because even in just that little phrase he just did, you heard that higher head voice type sound, but then you heard the deepness of his voice come through in part of that phrase as well. So it adds just another texture, another color to the timbre of his voice. And so he can totally do that, and it makes for a completely unique sound. Because if you were just closing your eyes and listening to this performance, you would think, oh, that's a male vocalist, and now there's a female vocalist, and this is a duet. If you didn't know anything about it and you were just listening to it. But then when you heard that little rich, kind of deeper part come through, you would start to question that or go, this is a very unique voice. So that's what he brings to the table. He's completely unique to anyone and can do whatever he wants with his voice, basically. Let me rewind here. Sorry, I stopped at a weird spot. And the vibrato and the fullness of the sound is still there in whatever register he's in. And it will not leave you. You are strong. Wow. Jeez. Man. He is special. He is special. Wow. He's up in his head voice. He's adding the mix in there and bringing the power behind it. So basically, it doesn't sound like he's in his head voice. And I've said this before with some of his other performances. He's the master of applying the mix, which means bringing the power of the chest voice into that upper register to bring that power behind it. So in what it does is it makes it really hard to know, oh yeah, he's in his head voice. Because when you're hearing the power and the resonance and the vibrato and all the things that normally come into play when someone is singing in their chest voice, you forget, oh, he's in his head voice. He's in this upper register. And then he just keeps going higher and higher, and he maintains all those aspects, which is extremely difficult. As you go higher, it gets more and more difficult to add that power in there, to add the vibrato in there, and to not have it come across as kind of this screech or a lighter sound or a harsher sound, but yet he's able to really bring the power and the quality of the sound up there into those crazy high notes. This is phenomenal. I need to go back real quick here. Let's see. See, I was opening these and he's kind of put his... And it doesn't look like he's straining at all on that high note. He could go higher, I'm sure, and still have that power. This is an amazing number with all these different parts. Look at that screen. Wow. Oh. Pick an octave, whatever octave you want. Oh. Oof, you hear that? Oh.
Ваши аплодисменты, Димаш Кудайберген!
I've got to go back and hear that one more time here. Wow. He just keeps getting better and better. So if you notice here, there's not a ton of tension in his neck. He's not like, if you see someone and they're really straining for a high note, you'll probably notice either a combination of things might be happening if they're not supporting it correctly. Their shoulders might be up and tensed, You might see their neck is like just bulging. Like you've seen someone like that before, right? Where their neck is just totally tense and all the muscles are just popping out. And then the jaw, a lot of times will look stiff, like it's like they're just clenching, or they're, over stressing their jaw. But none of those things is happening here with him. You can see it, right? His mouth is very open and wide, and he's got the singer smile I've talked about that lifts the soft palate to allow the sound to travel out with more power and resonance. And it's all, he's got everything, all the boxes you should check to make sure that you're producing the sound in the best possible way for power and resonance. It's all there. And the thing is the notes in the stratosphere, right? So it's like he's figured out how to manipulate the vocal cords and all of those mechanisms to do what he's doing here in any register. He's unique on the planet, I'm telling you. He still has. Wow. Well, that's one of my favorite performances of his. That's one of my new favorites. And I guess I do have some biases on that front, which are probably coming into play. I think I may have mentioned before that from the languages that I've sung during my classical training and so forth, my favorite to sing as far as a foreign language was always Italian. And so that could be part of why I love this one. And also just the fact that it's more kind of that classical style, but also just what he does and the message of the song, the arrangement, the having all the voices to complement him, what he does with his voice and some of the notes he hits, which are just incredible, and the control that he shows, it all comes together to make just a phenomenal performance. I'm excited now to show it to my wife and other people now, because I show them other songs like Sinful Passion and SOS, like you would guess. But this is another one now that, especially my wife, because she comes from the same background I do, and she teaches voice and things like that, and so she'll appreciate what Dimash did with this song for sure. So he's a special gift from God. That's all I have to say. I mean, you look at what he's trying to do and the type of person he is and the motivations behind what he's doing and where his values lie. I mean, he talked about his family, and that was the most important thing, and his love for his mom and dad, and of course his grandparents, and being able to live with them eventually, and his wife and all that, and be together as a family. He's just he's a well-grounded person, which is amazing, really, when you think about how huge a star he is and how people just clamor over him. And he talked about, it was funny, he talked about when, right after on the singer competition, when he sang SOS, and he comes out to go somewhere. I think this was when he was supposed to go meet Jackie Chan or something. And his manager had told him, hey, you are super popular. This is how many views you got. It's crazy. It's amazing. But he didn't really get it. And so when they went to leave to go to the car or whatever, outside the building, he walked out the door and there were these massive bodyguards there. And he's like, what are these guys doing here? And then when he got out of the car, when they got there, whatever, it's like everybody just, crowded him, and there are all these people there just like clamoring to get a view of him and everything else. And so that he kind of talks about how that was like the moment he realized that things had changed. But yet it hasn't changed him. And that's just so impressive to me. And if any of you have watched my reactions, you know that I look on him kind of like a son. And I can't imagine how proud Kanat is of him as a son and what he's doing and what he's becoming and what kind of person he is. So if Dimash, if you ever watch this, I don't know if you ever will, but thank you so much for who you are and for the good example that you set to the world and for bringing the joy of music to people all over the world and bringing us all together in a community of kindness and love. That's really what we need in this world right now, and I'm grateful to you for that. Anyway, I'm going to close out my video with what I usually say, and that is I need to let each of you know that you are special, you are loved, and you can accomplish your dreams. And Dimash is a prime example of someone that believed that and believes that about each of us. And through this song, he's trying to instill that in us. And I hope that we can all heed those words and rise up and not give up and know that we can be our best selves and we can be kind to each other. And I want to thank each of you for your support of me and my channel over the last year and your patience with me in not having many Dimash reactions recently. But this one was incredible, and I'm so glad I got to this one. And I know there's a new one in 2021, I believe, a new Olympico performance. So I'm hoping I can get to that one before too long and I can compare that performance to this one. But so look for more Dimash reactions, and please put in the comments any suggestions you might have from Dimash's journey, because I know he had a lot of performances in 2019. So if you have specific ones that you are hoping that I will react to, please put those in the comments. And again, thank you for your support, and take care.